This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs.
Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we have a top 16 deck list for the Play TCG Digi Fest that happened in Arlington this past weekend. I was at this event, but I was on the Dragon Ball Super side, but I did take a close look and I kept my eyes on what this event was doing and how it was. It was twice as large as Dragon Ball Super 1, so that's really exciting for Digimon and really, really cool. So here are the top 16 lists. We're going to go over them. But again, thank you to Play TCG for letting me show these off to y'all. So looking at the breakdown for archetypes, we do have, Blue Hybrid taking half of the top 16 here. There are kind of like two variants of it, more of just kind of like the standard and then a little bit like a Magna top side too, so there is some differences between them, but it's mostly Blue Hybrid. Like most of the cards are the same, and they're pretty dang similar. There's also 3 of the Yellow Purple Hybrid, 1 Lilithloop, 1 X-antibody, 1 Jesmon, 1 Red Green Hybrid, and 1 Cherubimon as well. And going through the top 16 players, we're going to go just pretty much through one of each list of each type, but I do want to just say congratulations to all our top 16. So Jose Salas for taking it first, Thomas Wynn for second place, Luis Pinto, our Luis the Panda, taking third, Ying Huang, our human, taking fourth, who also had a you guys might have seen him play Lilithmon in the North American Nationals last month as well. Top 8, we have Thin Nguyen, Ryan Tisby, David Scott Rollins, and Joey Robinson. And then the top 16, we have Jeffrey Ramirez, Jacob LaBouffe, Kevin Kim, Kevin Ambler, William Smith, Jonathan Martinez, Nick William, and Justin Guerra. So congrats to all these players for their top 16 finishes. And let's go into our list in general. So first off, we're going to talk about Jose Salas's first place list. And also, real quick, I didn't mention this as much, but this format did have mulligans and a sideboard, so we'll be looking at their sideboard as well. But this is, I'd say, a pretty standard list for kind of Blue Hybrid. It's kind of like the extension of what Gobubond was. It's kind of a hybrid-heavy version of Gobubond, and without Gobubond, obviously. But like that whole playstyle where Tamers are super duper safe. You can just kind of start taking off damage a little bit and then just kind of go for the OTK. Some interesting choices are Forbidden Trident and Supreme Cannon at 1 each. And then pretty much everything else I'd say is pretty dang standard for what this deck's doing. I know Uzulongmon is kind of a tech top-in, but not everyone uses it. But this can be like a Susanumon amount of damage sometimes, which is really nice. And then going into the sideboard, I saw a good amount of Mimis in here too. Just being able to gain this additional memory on both players' turns too, and it's also like a you can't get Gazimon or any of the other kind of memory blockers with it too. So I think this is an interesting tech here. Just some more hybrid cards for Forbidden Trident, a Hex Blaumon if you need to, and the Susan as well. But there we go. Here is the first place list, and most, I would say, like the bottom end for most of these decks are pretty understood. 4 Strabimons, 3 Sakuyamons. Sakuyamon, 4 Modoku Betamon, some Bokumons somewhere between 2 and 4, all 4 of Kumamons, all 4 of Korikakumon, 4 Beowulfmons. Like this is a strong core, and then a good amount of Tamers. So most like half this deck kind of builds itself. You get to fill the missing pieces, and a lot of it goes down to deck playstyle and everything else. So here's Jose Salas, and we will also talk about Luis's third place, just because it is a little bit different in the sense that this is kind of more of a, I would say, proper hybrid where you just kind of go into your big boy MagnaGarurumon. So playing 4 here, when attacking with return and when digivolving, you may turn 1 card with hybrid is traded from your Devolution cards to return 1 of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as return cards to his owner's hand. Trash all Devolution cards, and once return effect adds a card to your hand, you can unsuspend. So this can like do 2 swings, which is kind of nice, and then you also have your Koji. So main once per turn can digivolve this into MagnaGarurumon in your hand for its cost. This is a level 5 blue Digimon by placing 5 with hybrids from your hand underneath this tamer in any order. And then security, not security effect, but like the bottom effect, inheritable. Once per turn, when an effect adds to your hand, gain 1 memory, then this Digimon can't be blocked for the turn. So this can get like dual it, like swing twice, you gain memory for swinging. and everything else. So it's just like a good kind of combination with it. And 4 is honestly not that much memory to go into this, especially with how much memory gain blue has. And Pokemon can add to it too. So I think it's like a nice top end. You can also go into Omnimon to get like 3 damage all at once off one tamer. So all in all, I think this is an interesting build for it too. No Tommies either, which is cool. And just looks very, very strong. Looking to the sideboard, nothing too crazy here either. I do like the MagnaGarurumon tech too, and I assume this is for the Cherubimons. This lets you just bottom deck a Cherubimon without proccing its on deletion effect, which is fantastic. And just kind of like the Rattlestar too. Both these are just kind of hate for the Cherubimon archetype because it returns to hand instead of deletes, and that makes a big difference. So there we go. And congrats to Luis for 3rd place. Moving on to the 4th place list. So we do have the Lilith Loop archetype, pretty standard for human to play this archetype. The new kind of tools we have this time is that Jesmon is so good. You get to proc and get some additional plays, and like you can just win by being like lucky with your Jesmons and being really aggressive. But the kind of a new kind of way to play it is with the Cherubimon. So you can get these out, and then you can get like the werewolf mode, and you get some rush abilities too with these. And like Dead or Alive is fantastic too because you're able to recur it, and then when you recur it, you're able to get like you get like a memory for free essentially because you get to play this from your trash, and then you get a memory for playing it and everything else with its on play ability. Obviously, you can't get it back with Zwart because it's 8 or less, and this is a 9. But Dead or Alive just lets you do a 5. So I'd say the rest of this is pretty standard for the archetype. Obviously you want to popular in things. A Mastamon is an interesting choice too, but like you can Mastamon to promote and get like the win off that if you need to. Looking at the side, this also just kind of hard turns into the Lucemon archetype, which is really cool. So adding another Dead or Alive, having 3 Chaos modes, and obviously Neo Devimon's really good this format, being able to do like there's not a lot of hate cards for tamers, and this is just an in archetype in color version for that, and that works out really well. So once again, congrats to Human for their top 4 with Lilith Loop. All right, moving on to Thin Yuan with the X-antibody. I don't know, honestly, a lot about this archetype in general, but looking at this one, this deck looks pretty sweet. It's kind of like the Black War Greymon kind of OTK deck. So like you have Final Zubagon Punch at 4 of, which lets you, you can get like jamming and security attack +1 with the reboot and everything else. And when this has X-antibody, it's trace security attack +1, and this also says if you have reboot, you get security attack +1. Zubagon Punch lets you get that reboot, and this lets you get to what you just need to get to 13k. So having 2 sources here lets you get there pretty easily, and then kind of go from there. Really interesting deck. It looks like a lot of fun to play, and I'm actually going to probably play test this myself. It looks like a really good time. And in the side is kind of a hard turn to purple for just this hate for Neo Devimon. And then also Zwart is a card, and Parabolic Junk too. So one of your opponents, one of your Digimon gets on deletion, you gain 2 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. Not exactly sure what this would be a better against. I know there's a lot of cards with like energy hate and memory hate too. So I maybe just to play around something that has a lot of that, but I don't know. That looks fun. I really want to try it out. So congrats to your top 8 finish there. Next up, we do have David Scott Rowland's purple yellow hybrid. So this is probably like the second most popular build at the tournament, just having like the purple bottom with the there weren't any like mono yellow hybrid decks that top 16. Only like purple bottom with some yellow. And I think this one's more has more potential to do well. Obviously it has like a little less consistency, but there's a lot of very powerful cards in this. Obviously Shine Greymon feels really good. Jet Sylphimon is such a great card for this archetype, and you can be flexible with your level 5s and your level 6s. And I think like the level 6s are what make yellow really good in a sideboard format, because they have honestly like a whole lot of good ones, and being able to choose the ones that just make sense for the deck you're playing against, I think makes this do very, very well. Nothing else too crazy. MagnaGarurumon, cute mons in case you need to play this against other tamer decks, and 3-hole Flybolus in case, I'm guessing, you need more like security control or like better cards than security in general for that. So There we go. Congrats to David there. Next up, we do have Kevin Kim's Jesmon. And honestly, without like, this isn't like insulting or anything, but the more I've seen Jesmon play this format, the more I'm surprised that the Savior Huckmon got limited to 1. This just seems like Jesmon does well, and there are some good plays with it, but I don't see it being broken right now. I don't really see the warrant for the ban or to the limit 1 with it, but. Obviously got a lot of new tools in this format. It does have Huckmon, it does have like the Awakened, but nothing too crazy from there. Like if you're able to see your plays and you're able to go off, you're feeling really good. And if you don't, you probably have like 4 Jesmon, like you just didn't see your Savior Huckmon most of the time. So one thing that is nice with this too is that you are able to be a little bit more greedy on your main board in a sideboard format, and then kind of put some more of specific hate. So Delicate Plan, Gaia Forces, and Emergency Program shutdowns in the sides, and also Gallismon too, in case your opponent you're playing as like a really hybrid heavy kind of digivolving deck, and to kind of help you out. But and not playing a lot of rookies too, like just playing 12 red rookies is interesting. But you do get consistency with having 3 red memory boosts too, and everything else. So there's Kevin's list, and congratulations to them. And we also have another Kevin Ambler, with his red-green hybrid list. This is like a deck that I've seen a lot of people kind of play around with, and in theory, it's super fun, and there's some cool interactions with it. Being able to add, like, Atomic Inferno is just a good card for the deck, and so being able to like get a lot of damage on your opponent feels good. One interesting thing is that this deck's not running Mimi, it's running Ken instead. So when one of your green or blue Digimon deletes a Digimon in battle and survives, you can suspend this to gain 1 memory. And I think that's better than Mimi. Obviously you don't get to cycle as many of your red red Digi Eggs and Digimon rookies, but you don't have a lot to be able to cycle with anyway, so it's not like a huge deal. But I don't know. I think this is a really interesting build too, and take on the idea of it. Having Voromon too, it's a 5k, so this can swing over a trade with some level 4s too. And I don't know. I think this is an interesting build. Like JP just feels so good when it works, and like these Beetles and Kabuterimons I think are great. Also, being able to have like Argomon in your side against heavy hybrid decks is fantastic too. Like some decks, you just put this up and then they just literally can't do anything about it, and I think that's really, really nice. But here is their list. And lastly, we've got Jonathan Martinez with Cherubimon. This has been like my pet deck for this format in general. I haven't really played in any events, but if I was, this was probably the one I would think of bringing. There's just like a lot of cool things with this deck too, and being able, like, once it goes off, you feel like you just can't lose. But sometimes just getting there is like the big ask for you to do. But like the idea is, as you go into your Cherubimon, you're able to pop it with a bunch of tamers out, and you get a bunch of rookies. Bokomons can just like generate a whole bunch of memory. Bushy Agumons can swing for free, and everything else. So just the idea for it. We do have some, like, Mimis on the side in case you're playing as like a heavy option deck. We also have like some Flybullets, the Suzanamon, Rebellumons too, and I don't know. I think this is a deck that just gets better with a side deck in Mulligan too, but that is it. And that's really all I have for you guys today. Once again, this document is in the description of this video too, so if you just want to see all the deck lists, feel free to do so. Again, thank you so much to Play TCG for letting me do not the Digimon but the DBS side of just letting me come to this event in general. It's super fun to be there, and for giving me this list to give to you guys. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it.